not a burden. Here's something you might need to hear one day. Maybe that's today, right at this moment. Maybe it'll be next week when your anxiety's spiraling. Maybe it'll be a year from now when you find yourself asking your parents, your friends, your workplace for a little help. You are not a burden. If you struggle with any kind of mental illness, there's likely been a time when you thought you were a burden to everyone around you. You felt guilty for asking for help. You felt like you were a rubbish friend, or son, or employee, or significant other, taking so much and not being able to offer anything in return. You felt pointless, like all you were doing was loading other people with your struggles and dragging them down. You thought you were a burden. You thought things would be easier if you just disappeared. None of that is true. It wasn't then, and it isn't now, and it won't be true the next time your mind crumbles and that thought stays there like a drumbeat. You are not a burden. You are not a burden when you need people's help to carry the weight of things that are much too heavy to lift alone. You're brave to ask for help. A lot of us don't. We keep struggling, and we get squashed. The people that love you are happy to help. Even the people who don't love you won't mind helping, because really, you're not asking for much and people are, in general, good. Or they want to be, at least. Who's going to be that bothered by listening when you need to talk or giving you some time off work to get things sorted? If anything, you're giving them a little ego boost. People love to feel helpful. The things you ask for, that you think are too much are not. Unless you're asking for someone to give you thousands of pounds or a pony, but I doubt that's the case. If you're struggling with mental health issues, it's more likely you're asking for someone to talk to, someone to keep you company, medical intervention, or adjustments to your work or home life. Asking for adjustments does not make you a burden. It means you're carrying a difficult load, and you're being practical about ways to make it an easier one to bear. You are not a burden for needing things. Everyone needs things. Everyone has lows they need help coming out of. And you will come out of this low. It will pass, promise. And once you're out of it, even if you're just peeking out of the pit, you'll be able to help other people out of their lows. That's part of what being a human is. We help each other, not expecting things in return, but knowing that, if we ever need something, it's there. You'll pay them back. You're not taking without giving. You just might not be in the right state to give back right now. But you are giving back, just by sticking around. There are people in your life who benefit from you being around in the smallest ways. You make them laugh, you make them feel valued, you work hard, and inspire them in the process. You might feel purposeless, but you always have a purpose. It just might not be clear yet. That's not a religious thing, by the way. I feel like I need to mention that. I'm not talking about massive meaning of life stuff. Religion can help with the whole finding a purpose thing, but you can focus on purpose in smaller ways. Maybe right now you're a mess, but your experiences will mean you're able to help someone else in a few years' time. Maybe you will share your struggles and make people feel less weird and alone. You will have an impact on someone's life, and that is how you give back, just by being here. A burden does not give back. A burden is a weight that slows people down and makes things harder. That is not you. You're carrying a burden, and you're doing most of the legwork just to keep going. You're just asking for some help to lighten the load. The very fact that you feel guilt about being a burden, or asking without giving is proof that you are not a burden. You care about other people. They need you to care. If you were asking for something unreasonable, people would say no. If you were taking advantage, you wouldn't feel guilty. The people who care about you choose to help out when you need it, because they care about you. They think you're brilliant and lovely, even when your brain is telling you you're the worst. You're not, by the way, and they want to keep you around and make sure you're feeling better. Think about how you'd react if you saw someone finding things difficult. We'll use the drowning analogy because hey, that can be easier to understand than the whole my brain is a terrifying.